Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis Media once again. Welcome back to another video game review. This time it is going to be on Xenoblade Chronicles. Specifically, the definitive edition that released for the Nintendo Switch about 2 weeks ago. I just beat it this morning. A lot quicker than I thought it would be, but yeah. Now, originally, this game was first released for the Nintendo Wii in 2010 in Japan, and was released in the West in 2012 for the Wii. And was also released for the new Nintendo 3DS, but when I saw that there was going to be a port for the Switch, I really wanted to get the Switch port because since nobody really uses the Wii that much anymore, I kind of spent a little too much on this, but, you know, I mean, I have it, so, yeah. But now, since I played this on the Switch, I'm reviewing the Switch port. Alright, so basically in this game you play as a guy named Shulk. And Shulk has been, you know, trying to unwield, you know, the powers of this sword called the Monado. He and his friends try to discover, like, its powers and stuff. And it turns out that later on in the game, the Monado chooses Shulk as its master. And from there, he has to use that power to stop an evil, you know, force that's going on that will destroy the world, you know, just like in most JRPGs. Now, unlike most JRPGs where, you know, you have turn-based combat and stuff like that, this one follows it a little bit different. It's a mixture of hack and slash and tactical combat at the same time. And it's very creative and very clever. And honestly, it's like if they were like auto attacking. I mean, like, there's certain abilities that you can use, so you can use like power attacks and stuff like that. And you meet a bunch of new characters along the way. Also, during the plot, one of Shulk's beloved friends dies, but it turns out that they're actually alive, and they have to try to get her back, and she can help them on their mission too. And I can say without a doubt, this is one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. I could have easily said that with the first game on the Wii. And there's a big difference between this and the version on the Wii. The graphics are a lot more enhanced, and that's one of the things about the original Wii version that kind of took me off guard. The Wii's graphics for Xenoblade Chronicles didn't look all that great to begin with. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was still an incredible game for the system. It's just the look of the game, it just, their facial animations, ugh. But their designs here are a lot more improved, just like they were in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But, you know, this game, it just left a huge impact on me, and this is a game that I wanted to spend hours on. I spent over 55 hours in this game, and once I finished the main story, I wanted to do a lot more of the side quests. This is a game where you just want to 100% everything. This game is filled to the brim with side quests, so including the side quests and the main storyline, which takes around like 50 hours, it could take up to, like, you know, 70 hours to complete everything, maybe even more. This is easily one of the longest games that I've ever played too. Maybe not quite as long as something like the Persona series, or Persona 5, because that's the one I played the most, obviously, or Skyrim, but this game does have a lot to offer. And honestly, the side quests don't feel like fetch quests. I mean, some of them do, for the most part, but for the most part, they're optional. I said for the most part twice, like, what is wrong with me? Also, some of the side quests don't feel like, you know, they're just made to just waste your time. I feel like they actually had a purpose to the story and the characters. There's a lot of interesting characters, like you have Rhine, the character that you've been friends with for years, Sharla, Dunband, who is the original wielder of the Monado, who also comes along your journey, and yeah, combat in this game, while you don't really control that much, it still feels super satisfying, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's super addicting. Like, I truly want to spend as much time as possible before new games come out, such as Last of Us Part 2, and stuff like that. Also, in this game, the side quests are a lot more improved, and they add, like, you know, certain stuff that will help you, complete the side quests easier. And this is not a game that is too punishing. There is an expert mode that you can use if you want to go for that full, like, you know, master mode or stuff like that. You can also take challenges, which will give you better items and stuff. And of course, you know, you can give, the more you level up, the more your characters gain certain abilities. Another thing is, you can you can improve their relationship by, you know, giving them gifts and stuff like that. And when you're in combat, helping them out and stuff. You can unlock these things called heart-to-hearts. And the more you unlock them, the more you can gain like skills for each of them, for each of the characters, giving them to each of the characters that you meet. It was a lot of fun to do. I had a lot of fun. I loved building up the relationship with these characters. It's impossible to do it all while completing the story. Like, if you want to be able to do them, you have to do a lot more of the quests so you can rank up. And that's one thing too. I wouldn't recommend, you know, just playing as Shulk. I recommend playing as the other characters and, you know, removing Shulk and adding the other characters as well, so you can fully rank up their affinity status. It truly made the gameplay a lot more fun. And I love the storyline too. That's the thing about JRPGs. They have JRPGs. There are a lot of JRPGs that have such amazing stories, like Chrono Trigger, Persona 5, Final Fantasy 7. Like, I'm really surprised at how much JRPGs manage to tell intriguing storylines. And out of all the Xenoblade Chronicles games, out of the 3, this has the best one, in my opinion. So, I don't really know what there is else to say, but Xenoblade Chronicles, if I were to recommend this game, I'd recommend getting the definitive edition for the Switch, which is probably the one that you're probably most likely going to get. I haven't played the 3DS one, mainly because it's for the new 3DS and not the old one. But, you know, I feel like the Switch version is going to be more common to find. I mean, it just released, but, yeah. Overall, Xenoblade Chronicles is a fantastic game, both on the Wii and especially on the Switch. The Switch version is my favorite version of the game. There's a lot of stuff to do in the game. It's going to leave you occupied for hours and hours upon end. Sure, some of the side quests do feel a little bit like fetch quests, and the game doesn't always run smoothly for me, but there wasn't a time where it just downright crashed. But this is easily one of my favorite JRPGs of all time, and I wish they could make more games like this, you know, in terms of JRPG style. Like, I hope we do get a Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Also, I do recommend playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well. Funny thing, if you play this game before you get the definitive edition of Xenoblade Chronicles for the Switch, you actually get 100,000 currency if you beat this before you play Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which was pretty cool. So, yeah, I do recommend both games, but I mostly recommend Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. It's a fantastic game and is worth every penny. I'm going to give Xenoblade Chronicles a 4.5 out of 5. It could have easily gotten a 5 out of 5, but now that I think about it, there is like 2 characters that are in your party that I didn't really care for that much. One of them was Melia. I don't think her story was all that interesting. I think she was one of the weaker sides. I didn't hate her, it's just I thought she was the character that I had the least fun playing as. But, and there are a couple side characters that kind of, but, you know, it's still a great game, nonetheless. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll, do I have any updates? No, I guess not. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.